Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, over the past few years, we have learned about one illegal scheme after another at Wells Fargo. The bank has scammed customers by opening millions of fake accounts. It has unlawfully repossessed tens of thousands of cars, including cars that belong to deployed service members. It's cheated thousands of their own employees out of their hours and kicked hundreds of families out of their homes in unlawful foreclosures. Regulators, including your agencies, have sued Wells Fargo over and over again to force it to stop scamming its customers. As I understand it, the OCC alone right now has at least 3 open enforcement actions against the bank. So, Comptroller Otting, let me ask, on April 3rd, you wrote me that the OCC was, quote, disappointed with Wells Fargo Bank proposal under our consent orders, close quote. Has the OCC's position changed in the last 5 weeks?
It has not.
All right. So you're not alone in being disappointed by Wells Fargo's progress. Chairman Powell and CFPB Director Kraninger have also made it clear that Wells Fargo has not cleaned up its act. But one big thing has changed. CEO Tim Sloan was finally kicked out. So Wells needs a new CEO. Now, in a law that was passed in the wake of the savings and loan crisis in the 1980s, Congress gave the OCC the authority to examine the, quote, competence, character, experience, or integrity, end quote, of candidates for senior positions in a, quote, troubled bank, close quote, like Wells Fargo. In other words, the OCC can effectively veto CEO candidates who don't pass muster. Comptroller Otting, I recently wrote you a letter asking why the OCC waived its right to a troubled bank review in recent settlements with Wells Fargo, and you responded yesterday that the agency was committed to conducting a review of the candidates for Wells Fargo CEO. Will this review be exactly the review that Congress gave you the authority to conduct? I just want to be clear.
Yes, no, I understand. First of all, Wells is currently not a troubled bank by the definition.
I just want to know if you're going to conduct the review according to the authority that's been given to you.
Yes, we will.
You will?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad. Because when you, the OCC, waived the examination in your 2015 order settling claims that Wells Fargo broke anti-money laundering laws, and when you waived the examination in your 2016 fake account scandal settlement, the result was that Tim Sloan, a bank insider, complicit in the fake account scam, became CEO without a peep from the OCC. Now, you also told me in your letter that you have decided that you will treat the results of the review as confidential supervisory information, which means that this review will be done in secret, behind closed doors, and never discussed publicly. Comptroller Otting, under the OCC regulations, you have the discretion to disclose this confidential supervisory information when it's, quote, necessary and appropriate, end quote. Will you commit to publicly disclosing the OCC's evaluation of the, quote, competence, experience, character, or integrity, end quote, of the next Wells CEO?
I will not.
Why not?
Because it'll be confidential supervisory information.
Well, it's confidential if you make it confidential. Right. The point is you have the legal authority.
At this point in time, I do not have plans to release that information publicly.
And what is the reason that you don't have plans? Why are you keeping this secret?
As you indicated, it's my prerogative.
Okay, and our job is oversight here. So I'd like to know why you want to exercise your prerogative to keep secret
I haven't exercised
the
it.
oversight that the OCC has ducked repeatedly.
Senator Warren, no one has been more tougher on Wells Fargo than myself. No one has been more outspoken.
You mean at the OCC? That's a low bar.
I would disagree with that. I find that insulting that you would make that comment.
Good. You know, people all across this country were scammed and squeezed by Wells Fargo. Their houses were taken away, their cars were stolen, because the bank's executives were more concerned about making mountains of money than about following the law. And the OCC never uttered a peep about their executives who were leading this. The OCC blew it once by letting Tim Sloan take over. This time, you need to show your work and make your supervision public. That way, consumers and Congress can hold you accountable too.
Appreciate the request.